All right, I'm here with Eric with Cyfac, and he's got a couple of road bikes for us. This one right here. Why don't you go through it, Eric?
Yeah, this is our flagship model. This is called the Absolu. So with all Cyfac frames, they're all handcrafted in France. We started out as a company making frames for pro riders almost 30 years ago, and we've evolved in terms of materials and the latest technology. So this really incorporates some of the latest technologies, including an oversized 1 1/8, 1 1/2 steerer and fork, BB30, and we can do this frame with a full Shimano Dura-Ace Di2 integration. We can do it with or without an integrated seat mast, and we can make this full custom so that it can be really tuned to the rider's profile, the characteristics, and what they're looking for, not just geometry, but also how the bike performs beneath them. So we can change the type of carbon fiber that we're using, the orientation of it, and we also use a layer of Kevlar as the first layer that goes on at each tube intersection in order to ensure the integrity of the frame that'll be a long-lasting lifetime bike.
Right, right. So the business model looks like, is it full custom only, or can they buy off the shelf?
They can. We do 95% of our business is full custom / personalization. So it might be a standard geometry, but it's going to have a special order paint scheme on it. It's going to have something that personalizes it to fit the rider.
Right.
But most of our product is custom because that's what the consumer, for our type of consumer, that's what they're looking for.
Right. Right. And so who do you find is buying your product?
It runs the gamut. A lot of people have a conception that we're only for the most expensive bikes, but we start at $2,100 for full custom steel or aluminum, and we go up, it can get very expensive. This is $7,200, but it's like a prototype. Everyone is made a one-off for the consumer, so you really have something unique, special, just dialed in for the rider.
Right, right. And the best qualities of it, would you say are
the fit? I mean, to really dial it in, it's the fit, the function, and the finish of it. So it's going to fit the consumer based on their geometry that they want, as well as their riding position and the type of riding that they're doing. And then the function is going to be how we apply the materials for each rider.
Right.
So the type of the carbon, stiffness, compliancy, and then we've got the finish of it. So we do all of our own finish in-house, and you can really have something that resonates with your own personal style.
Right.
Whether you want to be a little bit flashy, a little bit more sedate, we have the ability to correspond to what your desires are.
And how does the consumer do this? Through a bike shop or through a website?
Yeah, we have a dealer network. In the U.S., we're trying to develop the dealer network, but yeah, it's through them, and they work very closely with us as well. We're happy to have a personal relationship with each consumer because we're unique in that we're actually building the frames ourselves, and we're building them for the customer. So we want to know what they're looking for individually. We don't need the telephone game so that something gets lost along the way. And all of our dealers are very professional. They're very happy to have us help them out through the process.
Right. So Eric, tell us about this next Cyfac bike.
This is a full custom Spirit steel bike. One of the advantages of steel, it's certainly had its period where it waned a little bit in interest, but I think now that people have tasted carbon for a decade or more, they've realized that the quality of the ride of steel is phenomenal, and steel has made some tremendous advances in terms of the technical aspects of it, the weight of it, which has always been its impediment to more people being interested in it, and it just has a soulful quality that some of the other materials can't attain.
Right.
We use mostly Columbus tubing when we build with steel, and Spirit is their most advanced, apart from a stainless version of it, it's their most advanced steel. And we use an interesting combination. We have a lug here at the bottom bracket for the chainstays and the C-tube, but the rest is fillet brazed. And what that does is it allows us to be infinite in our geometry.
I see.
So we can cut and miter the tubes to fit the geometry of the rider and just provide the fillet brazing, which our signature is really having a weld that you can't see. It looks as if it's a monocoque frame set.
And it used fillet brazing?
Yes, yeah.
The lug, why is there a lug in the bottom bracket?
Part of it is that it's a little tribute to a traditional steel frame, so it gives that nice quality, and it's just a technical aspect. It's a little bit easier to put it together like that.
Right, right. So it's interesting. You make steel bikes as well,
Right.
in addition to the carbon arsenal.
Right. So we actually started in the artisan period, let's call it, before the advent of aluminum and steel, and we started out with lugged steel frames that we built for pro riders, and we adopted fillet brazing and then on steel, and we were the first frame builder to TIG weld aluminum because we were a little bit at the avant-garde. We always wanted to be at the forefront, and our founder decided that aluminum was going to be the frame material of choice among the professional riders. So we've been able to master steel, aluminum, and now carbon.
And now carbon.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent learning about your company.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Eric.